we're going to be testing the test rides. We're going to start with the Simeon cars this time, and there's one car I'm not going to test drive, but I'll get to that in a sec. But let's just test drive this one. I don't have a lot of time, so let's just test drive it right now. This is the overmentioned Rebar GTS. Let's take this thing for a spin. Okay, so I'll be very honest, I don't think this car can take corners very well, but to be fair, it is an SUV. I don't really like SUVs that much, but I still probably would recommend it. I do like the way it sounds. Looks are okay. I normally wouldn't say that, but I do like the way this thing looks, so yeah, I would recommend it. Let's move on to something else. I need to tell you guys which ones I'm not going to test drive today, because I just wouldn't recommend them. And I also test drove one last week, so let's move on to that. Okay, so there is one car, only one car here that I'm not going to test drive. Only because I tested over it last week and I still wouldn't recommend it this time. So maybe next time we see this car, maybe I will test drive it. But this car right here, I believe this was here last week. So I'm not going to test drive this one because I don't think it's worth it still. So still wouldn't recommend it. So the Wallard Aurora, I wouldn't recommend it. So please, don't spend your money on this. So we've got the Weenie SE Classic. I already wouldn't recommend it because it doesn't take corners very well, but I'm still going to test drive it anyway. But right now it's not looking that good, so let's just test drive it. Okay, so I don't know what it is with the SE, but this one is only one I would not recommend, I would say, so far. I haven't test driven them all, but I wouldn't recommend this one. It doesn't turn very well. It's got terrible resistance to armor. The only reason I'd say you'd want to buy this car is because I think it can be upgraded at Benny's or Arena. Well, I'm not sure which one, but I think you can, but otherwise I would probably avoid this one. Don't waste your money on this. Let's move on to the... Okay, so already I don't really like the way this thing looks, and you guys know I base cars primarily off the way they look, but so far I don't really like this, but we'll test drive it anyway. Okay guys, I I can't recommend this car to you guys. I honestly can't, because this car just looks so weird. Like, the side things on the wheels, they just make the car look extremely weird. If you remove them, maybe the car would look better. But also, another thing I don't like about the cars are the wheels. I don't know what it is with the wheels, but I just think those wheels make the car look fatter. I don't know why, but it might not make sense, but I just don't like the look of it. So I'd say no, don't buy it. I don't think it's worth buying. Maybe you could take those things off, but right now I'm just thinking this car just looks absolutely hideous. So no, I'm not going to buy this car. No way. No freaking way. But if I haven't told you what the car is called, it's called the Benefactor Sturla. It's a sports car. But still, I wouldn't recommend it. So don't buy it. Alright, so let's test drive this one. I know I banged it up a little bit. A lot. Anyway, let's test drive this thing. So I'm not sure about this car. I think this car is a old car, like a really old car. This is called the Double Bashi Rapid GT, but I don't recognize that name. Okay, that might sound weird, but I don't recognize the name. But I still would recommend this car. This car, I think, is an old car, right when the game came out. But the only reason I do recommend this is because I like the older cars in the game nowadays, and I would recommend it. And I'd go as far as to say I'd consider it a luxury car, because not only that, it's also a convertible. Anyway, let's move on to something else. So I'm not gonna go back to the Simeon's place to tell you what cars I would recommend or not, because I could just tell you now. Basically, I wouldn't recommend any of those cars except for this one. Okay, now let's move on to the Alice car meet, and we'll test drive the podium vehicle and all those other rides. Okay, let's test drive the SE Sport. I actually forgot to record this video, so we're doing it now. So let's test drive this SE Sport. Okay guys, you have to get this car. This car takes corners really well. Hold on, I'm just going to do one more for you. But this thing just looks really cool and it takes corners well. Let me show you. It can take corners very well. Maybe not that long. But the point is, this thing is really good. Okay, get the car. It's really good. I'd recommend it. Let's move on to the next one. I already like the way this thing looks. Let's just see how this thing performs. This is the Bravada Gauntlet Classic. You can upgrade this at Benny's, but I think this is the unupgraded version. Obviously, they're not that generous. So Okay, so turning wise, it's not there, but to be fair, it is a muscle car, so would I recommend this car? Probably, but to be honest, you guys know I don't really like SUVs or muscle cars, so I probably won't buy it. But yeah, I recommend this thing. Maybe save your money, but I like the way it performs, I like the way it handles, I like the way it looks, sort of. I don't really like the car. I don't think it's amazing. I don't think it's spectacular out there. I'm not going to buy this car. But still, the point is, I probably would avoid it. I'm going to avoid it. But if you want to buy it, I'd suggest it. It's not a bad car. Okay, so we've got the NSDLT. Let's test this thing out. Okay, so performance-wise, it's alright. I like the way it performs, but the way it takes corners is kind of down. Like, I don't really like the way this thing takes corners. It's not that great. But would I still recommend it? Probably. I still think it looks alright. Like, I like the car lights at the front, but the lights at the back look kind of ordinary. I've seen these lights on the back before, and I've seen it on numbers of cars, so that's why I'm sort of thinking towards no. I'm probably not going to buy this car, but I would recommend it if you guys want to buy it. Yeah, but I'm probably going to save my money. Maybe you should too, but let's move on to the next one. So this is the Ocelot Pariah. I could already say buy it. It's a good car. It's a sports car, and I think it's one of the best ones, but let's test drive this thing anyway, just so you guys have a better idea of how it performs. Yeah, I could already say buy it. Alright, I'm going to say buy it, but let's move on to the cars I would recommend. Okay, so anything I'd recommend here? Yeah, the Ocelot Pariah, absolutely. The Gauntlet Classic, and I'd also recommend this car. So basically all cars I would absolutely recommend. And the Podium vehicle I absolutely would recommend. The Podium vehicle is a great vehicle, so try and get it if you can, but it's okay if you can't. So, altogether, I think all these cars in here are good, but maybe not the ones in Simeon's place. Like, the last one was alright, but everything else was kind of garbage. Anyway, I'm going to end the video here. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.